Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Where's My Sock? As usual, I'm your host, Mr. E, but today I might be Professor E again, because I'm sure you noticed in the title, I'm talking about math again, and I apologize, but math just really seems to help me a little bit in understanding things, so I won't get into much of the mathematical aspects of y equals mx plus b, but I will tell you how I was able to take my research from restream.io/blog/how. Look, I'm going to have the link in the description below because I don't want to butcher it. And I want to make sure you guys get to the information. You listen to me stumbling over these web links, it ain't going to happen. So make sure to check the description below. But I took that information from that website and I was doing my research, doing my thing. And like usual, as always, people, someone gets distracted. So I was distracted. I was on Facebook, just scrolling, minding my own business. When all of a sudden I came across a Facebook status that said, another day goes by and I still haven't used y equals mx plus b. Of course I liked it, laughed at it. But then for whatever reason, everything just clicked that I was learning from that website because I was trying to figure out how to get my listens up on my podcast. Seeing that y equals mx plus b, first of all, if you don't remember, y equals mx plus b is the line intercept form. It's the equation you use to make a line on a graph. And seeing as I'm trying to get my listeners up, that would be a upward line on a graph, and I'm trying to control that. So boom, seeing that one status clicked it for me to be able to throw everything together to make this episode. So sit back and I'll tell you how y equals mx plus b can apply to you. But again, I'm not going to get too mathematical. Realistically, let's just break that down real quick. So the m in y equals mx plus b is called your slope. That's what's actually giving direction to your line. The m in y equals mx plus b is you, aka me, or in aka you. So as long as you're in control, you know where that line's going. Myself personally, I let the x-axis represent my plan, my y-axis, my success, and yeah, again, I'm not going to get into the math, guys. If you really want to know how this works, I promise I'll put a link in the below for how y equals mx plus b actually works mathematically. Then this might make a little bit more sense to you. But again, this isn't going to be a math lesson. This is just going to be a how to get your views up. So we're going to focus on that plan I was talking about, things that you can do to get your listens up. And a great way to start by doing that is getting a central hub. Create somewhere that your fans, your listeners can go to interact with you, to find out what's going on next, to get those links that you stumble over every episode. And it can be anywhere. Ideally, a website would be great, but if you can't really afford a website right now or don't really know what's going on with those, then don't get a website. Maybe get a Facebook page, maybe get a Twitter, a Discord. Reddit has so many podcast communities and they're all so helpful. Maybe even go there. Whatever you decide to go to make that central hub, be sure to be very vocal about it. Make sure everybody knows you have a central hub for your podcast. Share it everywhere. Your personal social medias, random social media pages, communities on Reddit. Hell, if you have the capabilities or the accessibilities, go get a shirt made with your central hub on it and just walk around. Be your own billboard. You need exposure, folks. The point is to get listens up. Eyes on your page. Eyes on your show. Well, eyes and ears on your show. You might be recording videos too. Who knows? The point is we got to get exposure like that. So like I said, put it on your social medias. Get you a shirt made. Do a lot of call to action with your audience. So you guys would be my audience. Call to action to you guys. Research, get the fuck out of your own way, and have fun and, start recording. Now my call to action today, get your listeners up. So let's keep going. Another way to get your listens up is paid promo. Paid promo is kind of a gamble in my personal opinion and experience. You can do a quick little, again, because that's what I use. And I'll get to my page information at the end of the show. But with Facebook, you can do a $10 a week ad, and that'll generate some numbers. But of those numbers that it generates, let's say you get 500 views or interactions on your page, but only 12 followed you from that 500. Paying for ads is ultimately just paying for exposure. They're going to throw you at a lot of people's accounts, but those people might not take the time to actually interact with your page. If they do, cool. If they don't, whatever. So what I personally suggest is kind of do a compare and contrast. Do a week paid and do a week of your own promotion and see how the numbers compare. And I would focus more on who actually is following or liking your pages or being on your website, whatever you're using, versus just people coming through of traffic. Traffic is good, but it's those people that are interacting with you that are most important. There we go. A couple other things that you're going to want to keep in mind. Have a catchy title for your podcast. You don't want a mouthful. You don't want it to be confusing for the listener, because nothing's worse. I know when I was coming up, there used to be a show called, this is a great example because I have to think about it now, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, which is a great play on words because they lived in a hotel and their lifestyle was a hotel suite. So it wasn't spelled SWEET, it was SUITE. And then Life of Cody and Zach. And sometimes I'd get Zach and Cody mixed up. Whatever the case, catchy, sounds good, but can be confusing. It worked out for them. Good job, Disney. I'm not knocking you. Who am I to tell you you're doing something wrong? But for the example wise, yeah, like I said, it's a little mouthfully, can be placed out of order. And when it comes to looking up your show on Google, on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're streaming at, those keywords can ultimately, if they don't get them in the right order, send it to somebody else. And now you just sent somebody some free listens when they were really trying to come listen to you. You don't want to do that. So keep it simple, keep it catchy. And speaking of keywords, again, use keywords in your descriptions. Look up trending things, look up trending topics within the platform you're advertising on. But don't be that person to just flood your description with hashtags and keywords everywhere, because one, it just looks messy, and two, everybody's going to see what you're trying to do, and the algorithm will even decide what you're trying to do, and then you're not going to get the exposure you're really looking for. So sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, saying less is more. Keep that in mind. Another great way for advertising is being mindful of your time slots. So if you're recording for 15 to 30 minutes, you're probably doing like a recap show, a gossip column, your own podcast. People that are looking for that much time are typically looking for those type of shows. So the two they don't always, but they can go hand in hand. If you're doing the 30 to 60 minutes, you're probably doing some type of interview or report, maybe storytelling, and anything over an hour, that's your discussion panels. Those are you're having several guests. Maybe you're recording a live show, whatever the case. You don't have to have a timestamp on your show. Your show can be as long or as short as you want it to be, and you can talk about whatever. But mindfully, as far as exposure and making sure to cater to your audience, you want to make sure you're paying attention to what it is they're looking for. Maybe they love your content, but it's a little too long or too short, whatever the case. Make sure you listen and make sure you remind your listeners to inform you of what it is they're looking for. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Another great way to get listens or get yourself in the algorithm more so is releasing a lot of content at once. Maybe drop 3 episodes in one day. Maybe drop 4 times in the week. Doing that will get the algorithm to push your content out more. I don't know the specifics on that, folks, and I apologize. I do know that, once you're dropping a lot more frequently, for whatever reason, the algorithm just starts pushing you out. So release a lot if you have it. Release consistently. You can do that. I apologize, I don't, but you can. Be better than me, folks. Be better. But that all being said, I just want to let it be known that I'm going to start pushing out some more content too. I'm going to be double dipping here. Not only am I going to be teaching you guys what you should be doing and what you can be doing to start your podcast, I'm going to start really getting my foot wet and finding that voice of mine in the podcast world / finding that sock. Look, moving forward, just make sure you pay attention to your titles, because some of the things that I talk about will be podcast related. Other things will be my interest related. Might be a question of the day, might be an interview with someone that I find interesting. It could be any and everything, folks. As random as you might find that sock somewhere is as random as you might find my titles. But for today, we're going to leave it there. Get your listens up, folks. Go out there, advertise. Be annoying, okay? That sounds terrible, but go annoy people with your passion. Go annoy people with your show and let it be known what you're doing the show for, and be clear about that. Like, look, I got a business. This is the best way I can advertise, by having a podcast. Or I really want to be a personnel out in this Hollywood world, fame world, whatever. So please go like and subscribe. Whatever your reason is behind your podcast, make sure your guests know. Make sure that message is clear, and they know what they're getting themselves into when they come to listen to you. Are they coming to be entertained? Are they coming to be sold on something, or driven to think another way? Who knows? You do. Just make sure that your listeners do. And as always, folks, I'm Mr. E, Professor E. That is me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you got going on. Maybe it's a night. Maybe you about to go get turned up. Do that. Maybe you about to go turn down. Definitely do that. Get you some rest. Go and celebrate. Whatever it is you want to do, folks, do that. And go follow me on social medias. Where's my _sock on Twitter? And now the Facebook page, Where's My Sock on Facebook. I'll have some statuses up there. I'll be a little bit more active on there than I am on Twitter, probably. However it works, but you guys know where you can find me now. I got the central hub. It is Where's My Sock on Facebook. And as always, guys, that's what I got for you today. I will catch you next time on another episode of Where's My Sock.